Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. Just a little forewarning, I am sitting in front of some windows and the sun is already way over there and I think it might eventually change the lighting in here, so I'm sorry about that. But anyway, let's just get into it because I've seen some people complaining about how hard it is to make friends in Japan. And I think like on Twitter and stuff, and there's a bunch of people agreeing with them, and I don't know what it is, but I really disagree. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think it's that hard to make friends in Japan. Like, not as hard as people make it out to be. Hi guys, this is Editing Bri. I just wanted to clarify my definition of friend for this video. When I'm describing my close, real friends, these are the friends that I can call when I need to talk to someone. And these are the friends that they'll call me when they need someone to talk to. Just to make it clear, I know there are different levels of friends. Some of them you only see occasionally, some of them are in your life all the time, and I'm just talking about my really close friends. Your definition of a real friend might be different from mine, but this is just where I'm coming from. And I want to make it clear that I'm not just talking about occasional friends or drinking friends. These are the friends that I would stay up talking all night with, or I help wrote their wedding vows. These are my real close friends. So I just want to make that clear. Okay, carry on. I know everyone has different personalities and I know everyone's different, but I think I've lived in Japan for 13 years almost, and I've made lots of friends and lifelong friends, and you know, some of them have even, moved out of the country. They're Japanese, but they moved abroad, and like I still FaceTime with them, or, we chat online together. They invite me to their weddings. I'm inviting them to my wedding. Like, we're friends. And yeah, I think I might have some good advice for you guys if you don't know how to find friends in Japan. I can help you. So I had a little discussion on Twitter once where someone was saying that it was really hard to find Japanese friends, and they asked people how they found friends. And when I said how I found a lot of my friends, they kind of chalked it up to me coming here when I was younger and going to school here. That would be easier than just coming here for work and trying to make Japanese friends at work, which, okay, I don't... I think, I've made friends at all different stages in my life in Japan. So when I was a teenager, when I was in my early 20s, my mid-20s, my late 20s, and I'm in my 30s now, and I'm still making friends. Maybe not as often because I stay home a lot, but even just by doing YouTube, I've made Japanese friends and they're wonderful. I think a lot of people think that Japanese people are these mythical creatures and that we'll never understand them and they'll never understand us. And I think that is the wrong way of thinking from the get-go. If you're thinking like that, yeah, it's probably going to be hard to make friends because you're putting these people like in a different category than yourself, when we're all just humans and everybody needs friends. So I'm just gonna tell you how I made my friends. So first of all, I came to Japan when I was 19, I think, and I went to school here. I went to university, and I studied Japanese in America before coming, but I couldn't speak. Like, I could ask directions, but I couldn't understand where people were sending me. Like, I couldn't talk to people. And I was really lucky that the school that I went to, they had like a mentor program where we were paired up with Japanese students to help us get accustomed to school life in Japan, and it really helped. And actually one of my best friends was a mentor for another person, and we just hit it off and we were still great friends. I just went to his house last weekend. I went to his wedding last year. Yeah, we're just, I mean, that's 13 years of friendship. I think I was kind of lucky because at that time there wasn't really that much social media. It was back in 2007. I had a MySpace and a Facebook, but nobody was really talking about how it was so hard to make friends in Japan. I didn't know, I just started making friends. So I think if you come into it just thinking like you can make friends like anyone else, you can. It is difficult because you are coming from wherever country you're coming from and you're coming to Japan. Maybe you don't speak the language, you're new here, everything is a little bit more difficult than in your home country. But it is not impossible. It is not. Then I met friends through work. I used to work for a company and I made friends with my coworkers. You know, of course, you're not gonna click with everyone. Not everyone you come across is gonna be your friend. Maybe you just don't click that well. And that's okay. You don't have to be friends with everybody, but it is nice when you find those special few people that you really hit it off with and you can be friends for ever. I also lived in a share house where half of the people were Japanese and half of the people were from other countries. So that, I mean, that was probably one of the best times of my life, and I'm still friends with most of the people that I lived with. And some of them are from other countries, some of them are from Japan. We've all gone off with our own lives, and a lot of people have gotten married, have kids, moved out of the country, but we still get together and we still have this friendship and we can talk to each other and we have reunions all the time, and it's really nice. One of my Japanese friends recently had a baby and I threw a baby shower for her here at my house. So I would consider her one of my best friends. Even if you didn't go to school here, even if you can't find anyone you click with at work, another way I met some of my closest friends was through language exchange, because I couldn't speak Japanese that well when I came and I needed to practice, and at that time I don't think I had a smartphone. I didn't have any, like, I think now there's a bunch of apps where you can like meet people or be conversation partners with people, but I did it the old school way where I went on a website and you could like upload your profile, like a little paragraph about yourself, and I met so many people that way. Like 3 or 4 of my closest friends today I met like 13 years ago on that website, just because I wanted to learn Japanese and they were willing to help me and I helped them with English. And after all these years, like, we still talk all the time. I meet up with them. They are some of my closest friends and it wasn't that hard to get to know them. Even though I didn't know Japanese at the time, they were very willing to help me, and because of them I can speak Japanese pretty well now, I think. And even though I didn't know the language that well, it was still not that difficult to make friends with them. They were very open and they were still so friendly and so helpful, and they wanted to help me and they wanted to be friends. So another way that I met some of my good friends is just being out and being social. So I met one of my really good friends at my other friend's birthday party 12 years ago, and like we were sending line messages back and forth yesterday. I met another one of my really good friends when I was doing hanami with a bunch of people. It started raining and all of us in the park had to go under this like awning, and she was there and she handed me a beer and we just hit it off. We started drinking, we started talking. At that time I could speak Japanese. She doesn't speak any English, and yeah, it was like one of those moments where you just find someone and you're like, this person is so cool, I'm gonna be friends with them. And we've been friends ever since. We've gone skiing together. She just hit me up a few days ago because she wants to go drinking together. And I just realized this really sounds like I'm bragging about how many friends I have, but that is not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying that it is not that difficult to make friends. Like, you just have to have an open mind about it, and you have to find like-minded people. So of course, like, even in your home country, in your hometown, you might not be friends with your coworkers. You might not be friends with people you went to school with. It all depends on how you click and mesh with people, and that's the same here. Don't give up is what I'm trying to say. So I have some tips if you are in Japan or coming to Japan and you want to make friends. One thing that is really important to remember is that you are in Japan. You are not in your home country. So you've got to realize that things are different. People work late here. People have other priorities, and you need to accept that. You can't expect everything to be the same as where you're from. You're in Japan and people do things the way that Japanese people do. So don't expect to, you know, like when you meet a new friend, to like go over to their house right away. Japanese houses are small. Typically people live with their parents for a long time, and they might not, you know, want you to come over to their house. It's not that common in Japan for people to have like house parties, for example. So don't think that you're not close to someone because they didn't invite you to their house. Another big tip is learn some Japanese. So even if it's really simple, like, you don't have to be fluent, but if people see that you're making an effort, and maybe you can ask for help in Japanese. Can you like help me practice my speaking skills? People are so willing to help you, and it's a really good way to get to know someone in another culture, in another country. Language and culture is very closely connected. So once you start understanding the language a little bit more, you're that much closer to understanding Japanese culture, which will be so helpful when you try to make friends. Maybe you're coming to Japan for the very first time and you don't know any Japanese, and you just need to make friends who can speak English. I would recommend doing like a conversation exchange. Usually those people are interested in going abroad, they're interested in English or whatever language you may speak, and yeah, and they'll be able to help you improve your Japanese, or teach you some things, teach you a little bit about the culture, the food, maybe help them with something, help them learn about your country, or help them learn your language. My last tip is just to be open-minded and, you know, talk to people, get out of your bubble. I know it's really easy to get inside this foreigner bubble in Japan, especially if you're working. Maybe your coworkers are also from your country or are not Japanese. It is easy to get trapped in that foreigner bubble in Japan because it's comfortable. People understand you, maybe people share the same customs as you. It is easy and comfortable, and you know, I have friends that are from America or other countries, and it's very comfortable to speak in English with them. But I think people who travel abroad already want kind of a challenge. I am one of the shyest people. I am super shy, and it was really hard. I was so nervous when I first came here, and I was a teenager, and it was my first time ever traveling outside of my country. It was my first time going abroad, and I came here for school, and I didn't know anyone, and that is hard. It is hard to get out of your shell and meet people, but you have to do it. You have to. If you want to communicate with people, you have to try. Go out, go to festivals, go meet conversation partners, go to meetups. There are so, like, especially now with the internet and stuff, I sound like I'm old, but especially now, like, you can go, there's like a meetup app, and you know, Facebook events if you're on Facebook. I don't know who's on Facebook, but there's so many different ways to go and meet people. And I just don't want people to think that it's impossible to make friends with Japanese people. That sounds extremely weird to me, that you would just write off an entire country because it might be a little bit of a challenge. It isn't impossible. It might be a little bit difficult, but you can do it. There is a friend out there for you in Japan. Trust me, no matter what your hobbies are, no matter your personality, there's someone for you. Okay, I think this is a little bit rambly, but I hope that made sense, and my battery is dying, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!